Hi, my name is Billy Joe. I'm a member of Young Company at Storyhouse, and this is our panel. We've got loads of other people from the Young Company joining us tonight. We've also got a member of HR and Recruitment. Her name is Kirsty, and she's going to be answering some of our questions. So here we go. How do you think careers and education have been affected by the pandemic?
I think that it's a moving beast, really. I think that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to change dramatically over the next few months. In terms of, for young people, we know that there's a lot of apprenticeships and things that have been put in place, and organisations have already woken up, I think, to the fact that there's opportunities to be had in terms of new ways of doing things and looking at alternative ways of doing things, and apprenticeships and placements is one of those options. So I think that's an amazing thing. Education is obviously a whole other ball game that's obviously not necessarily my level of expertise, but I think that it'll get there. It's just going to change quite dramatically, just in terms of even how people navigate the world, and even just the experiences people have when they go to uni. It's going to change dramatically, but and everybody, even just at this stage in their lives, they're in this precipice of change that's just in a really, really strange situation. So it's fascinating, but it must be really unsettling for people. So providing loads of different support is such a really important thing. So I think it's constantly evolving, but I think that there's a lot that organisations, there's so much more in terms of, as I said, the apprenticeships, there's so much more coming out, and in the HR groups that I'm part of, we're all talking about putting more apprenticeships in and such. So I think there's more opportunities for young people than ever before. It's just trying to find the best way for us to navigate that world.
Well, I do think, there are opportunities, online now because of COVID-19. At the same time, I think it's also affected people in a pretty negative way. Like, for example, people who had job opportunities before have now lost them because, funny enough, my sister was meant to apply for a job at Disney for the year. Yeah, but because of lockdown and everything, couldn't go in the end. So there's unfortunately that, but so on and so forth. And also, many of us were meant to have our exam.
Like Kirsty said, it's always evolving. It's always very circumstantial as well. Like I think even in like my family, my brother works in lettings, and he managed to actually get a job, a month ago, because the property market suddenly, spiked up. So it is very, very circumstantial. I mean, I think it's not great for a lot of people who have been given promises that have been told, oh, you will be starting your contract in September, and then they're it's a bit of a waiting game for them, and I think that's really, really hard because I'm in that kind of in between space. But I think for me personally, it's been a massive learning curve in terms of my business. I moved all my classes online, and it's been a lot to learn, and I think it's a lot different. But I've really enjoyed that, and I think it's shown me how I can adapt.
So I feel there is a bit of a positivity in that sense, where it's just everything's been put on hold rather than it's all going south. Personally, when I was really lucky with work, because I started at my new job the week before lockdown, and everyone when I started was like, "You've picked a week to start," sort of thing. And then I sort of was put on furlough, and then because I'd only started that week, I had to be put on furlough with my previous job. And I remember my new boss ringing me and saying, "Oh, how do you get along with your old boss?" And I'm like, "Yeah, great, we get along. I mean, I have just left him before a busy summer period, but I mean, I think we get along." And then they contacted him, and they've ended up working it out for me. And everyone ever since has said, "You're so lucky. You've really done well to sort of do that," because you hear so many stories of people, as Olivia said, of people who've then had a job before lockdown, suddenly lose it, and it's just such uncertain times. And it was just, it wasn't lost on me how lucky I was. And on an education front, I was recently going back into uni, and I had recently got a place at a drama school, and due to many circumstances, I had to drop out, which was really, really big, hard decision to make. And I wouldn't say that my confidence is totally gone and going, but you sort of think, oh, when's the right time? When's the right time going to be? And it's just sort of more uncertain now. That's really the only concern. But other than that, I think it's just good to remain positive and think, it's just everything's been put on hold. It's not the end of everything, and we're going to make it out okay, I think. I hope.
How do you think the pandemic will make you stronger and more resilient?
I think that's probably the billion-dollar question. I mean, I probably think that we should be putting, we've been joking that we should put worked through or survived a pandemic on our CV, because in all honesty, see that first month of everything that we were going through, responding to everything that was happening, constant policy changes, everything. There was just so many things happening amongst all of the technology changes. There was so many things happening for us. And so that was a case of us working. And so that was daunting. That was really hard. But if there's people at home that are perhaps doing the opposite, and that have went from being in a position that they're really busy and they're used to doing the time management, and then they're kind of left in that limbo, that's really daunting as well. So that weird feeling that you go through, the resilience is such a big part of it. Just getting through the day is such a massive part. One of the things that I've done, and I'm very open about what I do to kind of get through the day, is one of the things that I normally love about my commute, because I really miss my commute, which I know that people say this sounds really bizarre, is I really miss my train, getting in the morning and coming back, because it's my compression and decompression. It's me separating work and home. So in the morning, I have a mini commute. I mean, I don't go like in and out my door or anything, but I go downstairs, get myself ready and everything, that's fine. But I have a dance party in my living room. I put some headphones on, I get maybe 3 songs. There's normally Hamilton, Hairspray, You Can't Stop the Beat is normally an absolute fixture, because I challenge anybody not to feel happy listening to that. It's a good day, bad day song, really. And that really, really helps, because and I realised that I was developing this just because my body needed it, because I needed that release for something. I just needed to move. So your body finds your own way of building resilience, and that's kind of, you need to just listen to what your body asks for. And I think even just the fact we've survived is a major thing, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for what we've been in the house for 4 months, and we've went through so many things with partners, family members all being around us, and people being so far away and working or not working, and there's a lot of things going on, and then having to watch the world go through COVID, go through political turmoil, radical turmoil at the same time. There's loads going on, so there's huge amounts. And again, I think that's perfect example for, I mean, a joke about putting it on your CV, but amazing example for how you respond to a stressful situation in an interview.
I mean, I think, you know, the pandemic has, I think it's given people the opportunity to, you know, adapt more to situations where, you know, where things suddenly change, you know, like things were going one way, but now they've just taken a massive, a drastic step in another direction, you know, like say you were in the middle of a job, but because you're on lockdown now, you know, you've either had to been they've laid you off, or you know, you're working from home. You know, I think it's like giving people the chance to really adapt to difficult situations like that and see how they can cope. And also, you know, the whole situation of being stuck in your house all day with nothing to do, you know, it does usually, after a while, it does, you know, get to you mentally. So, you know, there's overcoming that, and, you know, perhaps, you know, trying to apply it to similar situations in the future where you may end up in a scenario that gets you deep down, and, you know, you'll just have to cope with it as best as you can. And also, I think it's given this lockdown has given people the chance to go online and learn new things, you know, be it skills that could help them with whatever career they want in the future, you know, or just skills they want due to personal reasons.
It will make me stronger because I am a very stubborn person, I think, by my nature, and there's nothing wrong with being stubborn. There's nothing, it's a good trait to be resilient in that respect. But I think it's made me a bit more flexible, and you just got to adapt quite quickly, I think. And sometimes, you can only control what you can control. It's quite, a broad thing, but all you can do is kind of look after what you can control in your life. You can't solve everyone else's problems, but you can do a little bit every day. Yeah, it's been a great life experience, I think, for everyone. And I think exactly like you were saying, Kirsty, we all kind of crave these routines that we have in our lives that make us feel better. And I think I've really enjoyed my time in the morning doing a bit of meditation, even if it's for like 10 minutes. It's just been what I've needed, and I've kind of gravitated towards that, and doing exercise, and that's really kind of got me through. You find things that make you feel better at the end of the day, don't you?
I mean, for me, really, I never realised before lockdown that how much I enjoyed work, and how much I enjoyed going to work, and how much I use work as a way of sort of outrunning the negative voices in a way. Like, I think if they can't catch me if I'm constantly on the go. And so I think I really got myself into a bit of a routine of being in love with work, and just loving what I was doing. I used to work in a pub as well, which was the most social sort of job that you can have, and then to sort of have it all sort of stop, and then you can't really do anything, you can't go see anybody either, so your one thing, which is work, which is, well, one of your things where you think you could go and be social, is work, and then you have to sort of sit in the house, and it is like sort of feeling of like, what do I do now? Like, and then you got nowhere to run from those negative voices, so you just sort of get yourself in a bit of a state. And then, but for me, it was just really one of those things, like Kirsty, I also have my own little private dance parties. Mine are to 80s pop ballads. I love it. And that's really just doing things that sounds so stupid for other people, but for me, they are just like the best things to do. Like, I found playing, I recently got a games console. I don't know if I can say the name of it, and I've been playing old games on it, and just doing things that aren't really productive, but at the same time just make you feel better. And I think it's just, if you're not well, then you're not going to be better coming out of it, sort of thing. And coming out of it, I feel a lot stronger, and I feel like I don't feel as guilty about giving myself time to sort of decompress and just be calm, and sort of let whatever emotions I'm having, just let them have them, And if I need an 80s pop ballad to get me crying, then I will have that 80s pop ballad. But I'm feeling a lot better, so a lot stronger anyway.
So the next question is, what can young people be doing online now to improve their career prospects?
So I think there's quite a few elements here. So obviously there's been a few comments already touched upon about learning things that they want to learn and they want to do in future, improving their skills as well. As well, for people that have got careers that they're already aiming for, reach out to people that are in those careers. People really like to geek out. Don't underestimate the power of people that are already in these jobs, and just ask them about their job and learn from them, because I know that when people come to me and ask me about my job, I'm always so pleased, and I like to encourage people into industry, whether it's either railway or HR or anything, and I just like to try and encourage people. So, and I know that my friends are the same as well, whether that's vets or doctors or whatever they do. And so, and I've got plenty of friends that are in creative jobs and such as well, so they very much welcome people just reaching out, because there's that enthusiasm. If you love what you do, you want to share that. So go into social media, see if there's somebody whose work you admire, reach out to them. Say, can I ask you about your job? Can I ask you about how things go? How did you get into it? To learn more and get more out of things. It's being proactive. It's changing your narrative, and you're learning something a bit new, and you're preparing. But see, at the same time, see, if you don't do anything right now, it's okay. Give yourself a break. Okay.
Going on from what Kirsty just said, people now have the chance to just reach out to others and, about whatever occupation they may want to pursue, or education-wise. They have the chance to reach out to experts and, learn from them, just so that they're better prepared in the future. And not only that, people also have the chance to just look online and maybe check out some videos and maybe even courses to help better prepare them in the future for whatever they might want to apply for. I would give an example, but frankly, I am too lazy at the moment to do so. So, yeah.
There's a brilliant idea, Kirsty, you're talking about in terms of, finding people who inspire you online and maybe doing research through that and looking at Twitter. Twitter's a fantastic place, looking at blogs. I think I've not necessarily done a lot of training online throughout lockdown, but because I'm setting up a business, I'm setting up a drama school, I have been doing a lot of stuff online. I've been making content and building websites, and I think anyone who wants to set up a business, and I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that do, use this time to be inspired and kind of create a vision, and in that respect, because you can do a lot of that stuff online now. You can start that, you can network with people online, you can connect with them on Twitter, you can make blogs. So yeah.
I really think you need to keep your mind busy and keep yourself, keep everything busy. Just keep yourself going and move and striving towards what you want. And at the same time, without putting pressure on yourself, because I think once you put pressure on yourself, then, well, speaking from experience, once you start putting pressure on yourself, you will eventually crumble. And I think, I think it's good to have pressure, but at the same time, recognize that, you're not perfect and you're going to make mistakes. And, it's speaking from a young person's perspective, you just got to really think that, that we've got so much time and we've got so much time to go forward. I mean, personally, I agree with what everyone said, which is, you can reach out, you can research, you can find people online and really look for people who are in the business that you want to go into. From a theatre standpoint, I think keeping creative is the most important thing, because I think once you sort of drop your creativity, then it's so hard to get it back, and it's so hard to find, what really drives you towards that. But yeah, I think definitely looking into it, researching into it, and social media and the internet is our best friend at the end of the day. So I think, well, it's our best friend and our worst enemy, but it's good for some things. And I think, this is one of the things it's good for, finding people who you can aspire to.
I definitely took a lot of that in. We're now going to move on to a discussion between the whole of the group at Young Company, alongside Kirsty and myself. So could you guys tell us what you are doing at the moment in your career and education and what you want to be doing?
So at the moment, I'm just working in a supermarket factory. Nothing too glamorous. But in my spare time, I'm trying my best. Obviously, taking on board lockdown, not a great place for mental health. The minute you give yourself a break, you can be so much more creative. I found that the hard way in lockdown. But in my spare time, I'm drumming. I'm reading screenplays. I'm reading books on meditation, books about Zen. I'm practicing meditation, trying to take on board some of the Zen lessons and applying it to my life. And the main thing, I'm trying to sort out a company of my own. It's just little jobs, and they're enjoyable. They might be dull as dishwater, but they are really enjoyable. They're better than sitting around doing nothing, is what I found. Even if it's something really dull, if it's productive, then you get such a good kick out of it. I think it's fantastic. But obviously, ups and downs with lockdown. It's just that kind of a system, really. But that small little jobs is what I've been doing.
I can completely agree with you as well, going alongside with what you said about the small little jobs in life. They are really helpful. They can lead you to be able to do some things that you want to do later on in life a lot quicker as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a lot of small things at once, or relating to one topic or one thing or one life path or something like that, you can work towards it. And that's what I've been doing myself. I've been looking into things, looking into going uni alongside working. I'm doing a lot more writing, looking into creative writing courses, looking into film courses and stuff like that. If you just do things little by little, you'll get there eventually.
Well, if you think about when you're doing a jigsaw, that's probably the bizarre analogy, but
go for it, man.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually you get a big piece and it looks like a big picture. It gives you what you want. So it might look a bit bizarre as you're going along and you've got a random nose and a random corner that doesn't look like it belongs anywhere. And you kind of think, oh, I'm in the wrong place and stuff. But eventually it all fits together and you go, all right, I'm here. And that's life.
I use that analogy the same as a painting. or a drum beat or something that I'm trying to teach myself. It's baby steps, you know. Say like there's a drum beat I'm trying to play at the moment. I'm trying to learn it. It's and if my brain tells me to go fast, and it's like you have to do it quickly. You have to get this down in an hour. But once you just strip all that back, you shut that up, and you take it one step at a time. So what's the hi-hat doing? What's the snare doing? What's the kick drum doing? And then it's mastering all those and then putting it together. And lockdown has taught me a lot about life, because that's the nature of life at the end of the day. Nobody knows what the next year will hold. No one knows what the next 10 years will hold. All we have the power of is to work as hard as we can to get a future we want. And that's all we can do. And I love it. I'm taking in every lesson I can during lockdown.
To quote Adam Burr, "You're the one thing in life you can control." Sorry, I had to get a Hamilton reference in.
It's relevant.
It is.
I need to.
Yeah,
Very true.
I think sometimes things can feel a bit like murky, like you can't quite get to grips with something, you don't understand something. It's like, you know, when you're studying for something and it doesn't make sense. And I think sometimes you can't quite see something, but it does get there eventually. And I think, you know, like I said before, I'm quite a stubborn person. I've got a vision. I mean, but I don't put a time scale on it. I think I dream big, but then sometimes, you know, you just got to kind of be positive and see where it's going in the future. I think give yourself goals, little goals, achievable goals at the end of the day. I think that's important.
So a couple of years ago, I'd be the type of person that wouldn't want to get out of bed in the morning. And then I learned this thing about counting to 5. And by the time you get to 5, you get up and you do that thing. So you count to 5 and you take like a couple of breaths in between counting to 5 before you get to 5, and then you get up and do it. And I feel like that has like really allowed me to be able to like get up and do the things that I want to do in life, because I've got a voice in my head telling me once you count to 5, you can do that. And it's allowed me to do everything that I want to do now and that I'm looking forward to doing in my career, alongside Storyhouse and completing my book series and stuff like that. So yeah,
I
listening to your own voice.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because when you said count to 5, I always think, yeah, I do that as something similar. But then I always ended up adding another 5, and then another 5, and then another 5. And it's for me, it's sort of, again, it's just sort of not recognizing that, you know, I'm not going to get it straight away. Recognizing that you know, life's. This is going to be probably the cringiest thing I'm going to say, but life is a journey, and you know, it has its peaks and it has its valleys, and I think, you know, you got to roll with the punches sometimes. And I think, you know, we've all done so well to still, you know, be here and sort of not sort of sitting in a chair, you know, comatose sort of thing. So we've all done very well.
I think that, like, similarly to you, not like the fear of I want to do this, but will it work? I think like lockdown is like let me cut myself some slack, because it's always like I've got this goal, I need to plan it, I need to do it well, I've got to execute it perfectly, or I shouldn't do it at all. And I'm very much a planner of what I want to do months and months in advance, and that's all been crumbled now. Like, kind of my goal up until March had been A-levels, get to the exams. Exams are gone. We don't know like what anything is going to look like. And I think that's that, and the initial boredom of not being able to do anything has given me this drive to just want to go out and just do things. If this is something I'm interested in, I'm going to do it. For example, I've always wanted to do like a year abroad or a year in industry when I go to uni, but I'm not a very social person. And I think that that's something, like putting myself out there and doing something when I don't know how it's going to turn out has really been like a big fear for me. But I've been looking into it and like trying to learn languages so I can widen where I could go. because I've been sitting in my house, like, I just want to do things. Why not? Because it doesn't matter if it goes bad. Like, life isn't an exam. So I think that quarantine's really given me a boost.
I would say it's I do agree with you that it's made you it's in particular it's made me like a bit like not like given a care about, like just like you can go for it because you've got nothing to do. Like I did an online audition a while ago, and I was uncomfortable doing it because it was a video audition, but I realized that we were learning about things like this, so in Young Company, and I thought, well, why not? Like, why not give it a go? Like, because you want to get yourself out there in small kind of retrospects if you want to do things that you love doing. So I did, but it's just like being like when you're in like lockdown, when an opportunity goes in, you know, it's kind of hard not to say no because you're not really doing anything, and it gives you the push that you need. So yeah.
I just love that comment about life isn't an exam. I thought that was great. that was fab.
Yeah, I think it's something that I always have in my head. There's a lot of things I want to do, but I won't let myself because I don't like making mistakes. But you have to make mistakes. People always say the best lessons learned are the ones you learn by yourself. People can tell you not to do something a million times, but until you do it and you mess up, it won't really sit with you. So I think that it's important that I learned that now. Like,
I can completely agree with that. Everything that you just said, everyone needs to hear that. Making mistakes is one of the key things in life to help you improve on the things that you actually want to be doing. So yeah,
isn't it?
Of course, yeah. And I think
worst thing can happen. Like,
yeah,
you study for something and you don't get to do it, but now you have all that knowledge. So it's like,
exactly,
there'll be something good that comes out of it.
Yeah, and also, you know, we've all been not through the best time, and I think, you know, sometimes you go through an experience like that, you realise actually what a good time is, you know, what that means to you, and I think that's super important. And yeah, I think life isn't an exam. I think a lot of the education system is messed up in that respect, in terms of it makes you feel like that, and you're definitely not worth your grades. You know, you shouldn't kind of slap yourself on that. There's a lot more stuff that goes into it. Yeah.
I go on to the last discussion question. You guys ready? So what would you like your future to look like?
A place with less casualties.
I can completely agree.
First of all,
that would be very nice.
Yes, it would make things a bit more pleasant to look at. Yeah. Yeah, just a time where hopefully people have been able to, you know, adjust to how everything is, and maybe like this whole virus will be a bit more under control, and you know, to the point that we won't have to wear masks anymore, hopefully. And also that, you know, we'll be able to go up and actually, I don't know, hug people again, you know, like just shake their hand or something. You know, bottom line, I'm just hoping that at some point we get a time where the world is a bit more pleasant, I think. I mean, yeah.
I remember saying to my friend at New Year's Eve, I remember saying, well, I hope 2020 is better than 2019. And I think a lot of people said that. And I think I've just realised, it's taken me almost 25 years to realise that you can wish for like a brilliant year. You can wish for like, you know, a nice, quiet, calm year with no pandemics. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's what you make of it. And I think whatever the situation, you can find some positive in it, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve from now on. I think I'm done sort of hoping that for the best, when really, you've just got to make the best of what life throws at you. I think some things are just way out of your control, and pandemic being one of them. And I think sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. I've probably said that already, but you've got to, you just got to keep pushing forward and realize that, that's the way life goes, isn't it? I think if you'd asked New Year's Eve me that if I'd be longing for 2019, then I think I would have said you're crazy. But I think you just got to realize that that's the past. This is going to be very soon the past, and I think you've just got to keep pushing forward and make each day make what you can of each day, and make what you can of each year. And I think just keep pushing forward. Yeah. So I think
that's exactly what I want my future to be. Just to realize that you can't control everything. Bad things will happen, good things will happen, as long as you keep moving forward. Don't be stagnant. I felt like I've been stagnant for like 4 or 5 years now, and lockdown's actually given me the motivation to get rolling again, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. But I hope I'm just wherever it takes me. I hope I'm just calm. I'm happy. I'm doing something that I enjoy, because I've been in enough jobs now where I don't want this for the rest of my life now.
Mine, to be honest, I just want to continue being happy. That's and I just want to continue helping people. That's pretty much it. And I would like to be healthier, but that's pretty much it. And in all honesty, kind of linking into what everybody's saying is, I just encourage people just to find the joy in each day, because
definitely
that gets you through.
You're in charge of the day that you have. I think that's what I think. And I think, as you said, find the joy, and you can find it anywhere.
Yeah, and whatever mean that is. I mean, if it's 80s power ballads, if it's if it's musicals,
yeah, definitely a bit of the power of love, bit of Celine Dion every now and then. That's nice. It's like,
always end your day on a musical. But anyway, guys, those were some brilliant answers, and I'm really thankful that we all got to share this with each other, and hopefully everyone else can see them. So we're going to call that a wrap.